It's at 6 feet from him, in front of him. So he draws in the grass, he stands. And to this day, we have no idea what happened, no clue. He shoots. I think as he shoots, it raises his head, or he wasn't looking through his peep or something, but right in the base of the antler.
Howdy, folks. Welcome to the Hunting Stories Podcast. I'm your host, Michael, and we got another great episode for you today. Today, we actually hear a great story from a young hunter, Boston Allan. He reached out on my little forum and said, hey, I've got some stories I'd love to share with you. And I said, well, hold on, man. You've only been hunting for a few years. You're only 18. You mind bouncing them off me? And, man, immediately I was like, okay, Boston, all right, we'll give you a shot. And I think that he has more stories we didn't even get to on today's episode. So first off, thank you, Boston, for coming on the show. Really do appreciate it. Really appreciate you reaching out. For you listeners, I hope you guys enjoy. He has an epic tale of his first elk hunt up there in Canada. So I don't want to ruin it. Let's just jump into this thing, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Now, let's let Boston tell you some of his stories. Thank you. All right, Boston. Welcome to the Hunting Stories Podcast, brother. How are you, man?
Good. Thanks for having me. I'm pumped.
Yeah, man, I'm excited for you to be here. I kind of made you answer the 20 questions before you came on. I've had an influx of like 16-year-olds, 17-year-olds, 18-year-olds hitting me up, and they're like, I got this great story. And I'm sure that they do, but some of them are not the best storytellers. But you impressed me, Boston. So you passed my test, and I'm excited to hear some of the stories you have for us, man. So let's start with this. Why don't you introduce yourself? Name, age, where you're from, how long you've been hunting, just so that people know, who they're hearing stories from today.
Yeah, for sure. So my story will kind of start and lead off into my journey into hunting. I just recently turned 18. I'm from Regina, Saskatchewan originally, so in Canada. So I'm in what most people, or at least I would consider, one of the best places to live via hunting wise. We have some of the biggest deer.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know this, but my wife's family's from Saskatchewan. So.
Oh, really? Cool.
Yeah. They're all fans of Saskatoon or the Canadian Football League and all that stuff. We've been up there like once, so we need to go more often because it is a beautiful area.
Yeah, it's people love the mountains, people love all this, but like growing up in the prairies, like man, there's a heart here for it. Like just vast open deer. I say everywhere. Yeah. Some people say they're disappearing, but you're just not looking hard enough.
Nah, my favorite, one of my favorite musicians, Coulter Wall. I'm sure you're familiar.
Oh yeah,
he's from that area, man.
Yeah. And
if you guys want to see what it's like in Saskatchewan, check out his Instagram because it's just like photos of like whiteout blizzards all the time.
Yeah. It's crazy. He's in the Cypress Hills, kind of down south where I mule deer hunt down there, and it's just open and nothing. Nothing. It's amazing.
Yeah, cool. All right, well, I took us on a tangent there. You go ahead.
No,
keep introducing yourself. Bud.
So I just turned 18. I graduated. Luckily, I got a diploma in taxidermy. I was homeschooled
That's awesome.
My whole life, so I was kind of able to do things. Also got my POTS licenses last year, so kind of cool things. But the reason I was kind of homeschooled was my family, when I was 7, so in 2014, we up and moved. We moved for a year to Africa in like the bush, kind of helping out with this orphanage village, kind of just helping out where we could. And then from there,
so your whole family got up and moved down there for a full year.
I have 2 brothers and a sister, 2 older brothers and a younger sister, and we all just moved. We were crazy. My parents are crazy, but no. And so we moved there for a year. Then we came back, and then we started going there. So we go there for 6 months, and then live here for 6 months, kind of like snowbirds. My dad does construction. Yeah. So he'd do construction when it was nice out, and again, like you said, whiteout blizzards. So we run away from that stuff. But yeah. So my journey into hunting, I kind of have I say unique, but I do have a unique kind of story in hunting. My dad, he grew up on a farm in northern Saskatchewan, but he hunted once when he was 13. Yeah. Otherwise, he didn't hunt. And we started hunting together. So that's been a cool journey. But my first introduction really into hunting was when we went to Africa. One of the first nights in Africa,
Which people always say Africa. Which country? Africa is a continent. There's a lot of places you can be.
Fair enough. We were in Zambia and Uganda. So, but the first time, we spent most of our time in Zambia. So very similar kind of environment to Saskatchewan. Very open, very like flat. And just lots of animals. So where we were really close to Victoria Falls, which is like one of the 7 world wonders. So that was kind of cool.
Okay. That's cool.
Yeah, but like introduction, like never hunted, never knew about hunting growing up, like bought all our meat. We didn't really know anybody that hunted. And then we one night in the middle of the night, probably in the first week of being in Africa again, we have no idea. We had no idea what we were doing, which is like
Yeah.
no, like no clue. We all got it was probably three in the morning, and we hear just like bang, bang, bang. We thought it was guns at first, and so like we started panicking because you hear all the
Yeah.
stories of people getting shot and stuff, so we're like, holy shit, what's going on? Like, what's gonna happen? And then we go outside, and sure enough, it's elephants trying to break into our gardens,
That's crazy.
which like
So
we
the
haven't even.
bangs are just like miscellaneous logs snapping under
Oh
the
yeah,
monstrous
and
elephants.
then people were getting fired, like lighting off firecrackers at these elephants, like throwing rocks at
Okay.
them. But the main tool was slingshots, that they were using, like,
Huh.
and so like really cool, like handmade slingshots, and so like
Here's a question for you on
Yeah.
that. Was the main tool slingshots because they are surprisingly effective at deterring elephants, or is it sort of an economic thing and that's just what they got? So they're shooting slingshots because of lack of other options.
Probably a solid bit of both.
Okay.
But you'd be surprised how deadly you could get with a slingshot.
I bet.
Like, cause so then like the next day,
I don't know how many elephants you're going to kill,
Yeah,
but I'm
no,
sure you
but-
can kill plenty of other things.
No, and then the next day after that, like we woke up in the morning, like what the hell was that? Like where are we? Like what are we doing?
How long had you been there before that had happened? Was that the first night?
No, like probably 3 nights in.
Okay.
Like,
Okay.
and we had been planning to stay for a year. We're like, oh my goodness, like what have we done?
Yeah.
Kind of thing. But then
I
that
thought that'd be
next,
scary as a 7-year-old. I
Yeah,
got a 6-year-old right now, and if that happened, I could see him losing his mind right now.
yeah, but for us, for at least for me, it was more of like a like as long as my parents they stayed pretty calm.
Yeah.
So then it just like you stay calm, right? You don't know what's
Yeah.
else. And like we were in an orphanage with there was 20 other kids my age, and they all
Okay.
thought it was normal, and like right then there they became my peers. So my peers thought it was normal. So then
Yep.
the difference kind of thing.
Yeah. It's just the elephants again. No big deal.
Yeah, exactly. And so the next day I was like, I need a slingshot, right? Like I need one of those things. Like I
Yeah.
need to get good. And so sure enough, like the village kids, they helped me make like you grab like any sort of tubing you could get and like find a stick, right? Like just typical slingshot.
Yeah.
And then they taught me how to shoot. And like when I mean you could get deadly, like a pop bottle, like the twist off bottle at probably 20 yards I could hit. Like you could
Oh,
hit
wow.
every time. And hard.
That's pretty
So then
impressive.
so then hunting from there, it
Never,
led on.
never a safe bird nearby ever
No,
again.
exactly. That's all we did all day. Any Tweety bird, they loved eating them, and so we ate like the brain, like just got in it with them, right? Because I had
Crazy.
no idea.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, and then it kind of switched to real stuff. Got real when we discovered there's snakes, and snakes are real.
Yeah.
And then there would be like black mambas, big like 10-foot tall pythons.
Yeah.
We had king cobras. Like we had kind of built like a play structure for the kids. And this one kid, he was probably 30, ran out screaming, "There's a snake!" And sure enough, there's a king cobra just like right on this jungle gym.
Jeez.
So
Let me ask you about the efficiency of your slingshot. On some of the normal size snakes, I have no doubt, but on like those 10-foot pythons, were the
you
slingshots
need
effective?
to corral them, yes. Like
Okay.
to kind of corral them. Otherwise, you just grab a brick and throw it on its head.
Yeah,
It's kinda
yeah, that's what
like-
I would take a boulder and throw it at it. Good Christ.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right,
But
keep going. Sorry.
Yeah, no, all good. But they had no guns or anything. Like that's not something that's there. And so like you did what you did, and so yeah, so that's kind of where my hunting started from, was killing snakes, all sorts of different things, and then baboons. Like you never think how big a baboon is, but when it's standing up and it's taller than your dad, you're like, holy shit, that's
Oh, I was thinking, well, you're 7. Of course it looks big, but if it's taller than your dad, how tall is your dad? Is your dad a
he's
little guy or a
6
big guy?
foot. Yeah.
Okay,
Now he's
that's-
shorter than me, but yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, that's still cool. I had no idea baboons were that big. I guess you got
Yeah.
to see them kind of standing.
Yeah, like those baboons, like a group of baboons, they could kill a male lion, but they could kill a lioness. Like baboons
That's
would kill
crazy.
lionesses. So
That's crazy.
crazy.
I know
and
they
then-
can rip a human arm off, no problem.
no
Like just
problem,
rip you
yeah.
apart. That's crazy. Okay, so did you hunt the baboons, or were they just all over the place?
More
Were you
of like
slingshotting them and running?
we tried to hunt them with spears and stuff. We never got
Yeah.
one.
Okay.
We tried for days and days, and it was scary because like some days you'd walk in your house and they'd be in your house, like just like in your living room, and you're like,
Just reading the paper, sitting at the dinner
yeah,
table.
like what do you do? Like it's the
Yeah.
next days about. But yeah, so kind of that was that. Like we did that until 2 years ago. We'd go back and forth, but then
Okay.
again, never really hunted still, like other than that, just for fun, and kind of got curious about it. And then once we had a guy, a friend of ours, come to it was Uganda with us just for a couple weeks, and he hunted, and so we were showing him all the birds we shot, and he was like,
Yeah.
"Man, you should hunt in Saskatchewan. Like you live in the best place." And again, my dad kind of forgot about hunting existed and nothing like that, and so here you have to be 12 to hunt. Like that's
Okay.
you have to be 12, and so as soon as I turned 12, and I have an older brother who he started hunting as well with me and my dad, and yeah, we started learning to hunt at 12. Like again,
Okay.
we were like a group of, even with my dad, a group of 15-year-olds going out, had no idea what we were doing.
That's
kind of
awesome,
thing.
though.
But
Now, when you were in Africa, did your dad get in on some of that slingshotting, or did he just like love that you were out there just trouncing around?
yeah, he
filling
was
your...
just trying to keep
Okay.
us somewhat safe from people that got angry, and yeah, he kind of like, and to the most part, like he'd help kill a snake here and there, but otherwise, like not too much. But and when we came back, like the reason he started hunting, he wasn't. I don't think he was interested in hunting at all. It
Yeah.
was more of he wanted to spend time with his sons.
Yeah, that makes
and-
total sense.
yeah,
Yeah,
so-
that's awesome. And good
But-
on him for
Yeah.
jumping into it. Especially, I mean, I don't know how old he was when he jumped into it, but it's not easy
Well,
to start something late in life,
He's
man. So that's
probably
awesome.
44. So a 44-year-old guy getting into hunting, getting taught by, like we'd have 20-year-olds take us hunting, getting taught by a 20-year-old. Like it's
Yeah.
definitely a journey to
Yeah.
say the least. For
That's
him-
cool. So did you guys go straight to archery,
No,
or did you
so
start with rifles?
we started with rifles, and we were your weekend warriors, very typical, like truck hunt, drive around.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a deer in the field. Get out, go
Yep.
on the fence, lean on the fence. Like here, we could shoot on fences. I don't know, but and so lean on the fence, shoot off fence. Oh, we shot a doe. Nice, like
Yeah.
super typical. And we did that for like probably two. Yeah, it was 2 years of just weekend warrior kind of hunting, and then you kind of then it was kind of for us, like we absolutely loved it so much, but then we were like, our rifle season here for whitetail rifle hunt here is only 2 weeks.
Okay.
And so if you don't bow hunt, you're really limited to 2 weeks of hunting, 2.5
Okay.
weeks, 3 weeks of hunting. And so then going into our third year of hunting, we were like, man, like I want to bow hunt, like, or we need to hunt something more, like, because this
Yeah.
is not cutting it for us. And so
Now, up to that point, had you had that like aha moment where you're like, I love hunting. This is what I want to do the rest of my life?
No, not at all. Not really. Like to that point, like hunting was more of just a weekend thing that we did.
Okay.
Like it wasn't anything.
Little meat, little fun, nothing
Yeah,
too crazy.
Exactly. We
Not
made a
your
little bit of
personality
sausage.
yet.
No, yeah, exactly. It didn't. But the first time, so then kind of, I'll tell you the story. The first bow hunt we ever did was
Okay.
my dad had a bow. He went and bought $150, like, just old, it was an old Martin, I think, just
Okay.
bow, like just a piece of junk. It was his birthday. It was the 5th. His birthday's on the 5th, I think, of September, and he bought it on like the 3rd of September. And we wanted
Okay.
to go bow hunting on his birthday. Me and him, we're gonna.
Oh, jeez.
Bought this. Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Like, and so he shot maybe 10 arrows, and like we dug through the garbage bin at our like range, where like because our range has a rifle and a bow range, and got like
Yeah.
just miscellaneous arrows. As long as he could shoot them, we were hunting with them. Like we had
That's
no
funny.
idea what we were doing. So yeah, we just like dreams and hopes. We kind of went out, picked again. We didn't even like, because we were hunting mule deer. So our season for mule deer, you can then just get a mule deer tag every year for a bow hunt, which
Okay.
expanded, because then you can get a rifle whitetail, or you can bow hunt your whitetail. But then you can get also, instead of getting drawn for a mule deer, you can just automatically get a tag for mule deer.
Okay.
We didn't really know the difference of mule deer and whitetail, like other than Googling.
That I get that, man. My first ever hunt, I remember asking the guys in the truck. I was like, "Okay, we have elk tags. How do I tell the difference between an elk and a deer?" Now I'm like, "God, that was dumb. That was so
Yeah,
dumb. Why did I?" But like, they probably were biting their lips just not to laugh their ass off at me. But it's a real thing. Like, you don't know the difference between these species unless you have a
no.
couple cracks at it. You know?
And so again, we didn't really know. Like, and we had hunted with that guy who had came to Africa a couple times with our guns, and he would just be like, "Don't shoot that deer. Don't shoot." Or shoot, that's whitetail. So we didn't really know. So
Yeah.
we kind of, Dad had called a buddy who, kind of hunted and was like, "Hey, do you know where any mule deer are? Like, I don't know, where do they live? Like, do we have them in Saskatchewan? I don't know. Like, no idea." And he was like, "Yeah, this area, go over there." And it was about an hour away from our house. So we drove out. We didn't wake up early or nothing, just woke up. Like, we have no
Yep.
idea.
Just heading out there around noon.
Yeah, exactly. Drove out, talked to a couple farmers. We saw one guy combining, and he was like, "Yeah, there's some deer kind of in my slough over here. You could go get them." And so we're like, "Oh, thanks, man." So we kind of just, like, to get into the story of it, we're just driving around, like, kind of looking, and we see deer in this, like, it was a big, I say big for Saskatchewan, like 50-foot valley, right? Deep valley,
Yeah.
like kind of a valley with a slough in the bottom. And it's blowing. It's like probably 70, 60 km/hour, hour gusting winds. Like, it's super, for I guess miles, it's like 35 mile an hour, 40
Yeah.
mile an hour
Still
winds.
not
Like,
not ideal archery weather.
no, not at all. But we come over this one slough, where the one slough we have permission from this random guy we met. And he was like, "There might be deer." And sure enough, there's 3 bucks walking along the back edge of this slough. We're probably 400 yards away from these bucks. 3 mule
Okay.
deer bucks. And literally it took us probably 50 minutes to identify these were mule deers. We were like pulling up pictures on Google, like, "This is a mule deer, right?" Okay, I think so. And so sure enough,
Is there much for cover, or are you guys kind of
like,
wide open exposed?
we're kind of, it's not much for cover, but they're a down and a dip enough, and the grass is tall enough. We're kind of back enough, like, we're just poking our heads up because we're probably 400 yards back. Like, they're just down
Okay.
enough, right? We're seeing it, so we're like, "Okay, well, let's try and make a stop." And my dad doesn't even know how to use pins. Like, he sighted his top pin in for 20, and that's like it.
Yeah,
Like,
he's got to get to 20 yards. That's
Yeah,
his only
just
option.
Like, we don't have a rangefinder even. Like, so we
Yeah.
are just like, we don't know. But so we hook around the slough and we drop in the backside. So these deer are up against the side of the slough. The wind's going up and over, so we just drop down, thinking maybe we could get over this. And again, no idea what we're doing. So we drop down, and the grass is up to, like, our chests. So it's high enough
Okay.
and
Yeah.
up enough that we're just crawling, and so we crawl down, so we're at eye level of these bucks, like, we're together, and they're probably 200 yards, like, across the slough, but they're kind of working our way, so we're thinking, well, let's just crawl and stop and crawl. So for about 2 hours we're crawling, stopping, because these bucks aren't doing much. They're just,
Yeah.
we don't know, but the wind is just howling. And so then the one we think sees us, kind of, so we drop down. And again, we sit down for probably 10 or 20 minutes, just sit down. And my dad pokes his head up, and there's this mule deer at probably 10 yards.
No
feeding
way.
right at him. He's like,
Yeah.
"There's it right there." And so we're like, "Where? I can't see it. I'm too short." I'm like, "I don't know. I don't see this deer." Whatever. And so he's like,
How old are you at this time?
I'm like
You're
13. Like 13 or 14. 14.
okay.
So
Got
no idea. So I get down, and he's like, "It's coming at me, Boston. It's coming fast." I'm like, "What's coming fast?" He's like, "The buck." I'm like, "No way." What? Like, so I'm like, "Shoot it." He's like, it's frontal, and he doesn't know he can take a front. Like, he doesn't know anything. So he's like, "It's
Yeah.
coming." And so sure enough, it's coming. And he's like, "It's 7 yards, I think." And then he's like, "It's 6 yards. It's 5
How is he
yards."
talk? How is he brave
Like,
enough to talk with the deer at
Yeah,
6
we don't
yards?
know, and it's gusting so bad. Like, he's like,
That's
and
true.
he's like-
That's true.
And so he's like, "It's like 6 yards," and we're like, "What?" And I'm like, "What?" I can't hear him. Like, it's like 6 yards, and then he's like, "It's like 4. It's like 4. It's like 10 feet, Boston."
You're
I'm like,
just tackle
"Just
it.
shoot." That's what I'm like. I'll stab it. I said that, and he's like, "Shut up." And so he's like, "I have to shoot this deer." It's at 6 feet from him, in front of him. So he draws in the grass. He stands, and to this day we have no idea what happened. No clue. He shoots. I think as he shoots, it raises his head, or he wasn't looking through his peep or something, but right in the base of the antler, like right in the head.
No.
But like right in the base of the antler. But we don't know it hit there. So he's like, I hit it in the head. So I like jump up, and there's this nice buck running with an arrow sticking right out of his head. No idea. But we're so new. We're like, this deer has to die. He headshot it. Like, you play video games, he headshots it. It's dead.
Yeah.
So we're like, oh, it's going to die. Oh, it's about to drop. So we're like half celebrating. I'm like, you headshot it. That's so sweet. Right? Like, no idea.
Just saving all the meat, right?
Yeah, exactly. So it runs over this slough, and it's probably 400 yards and disappears into these like bushes and stuff. And so we're like just shaking. We don't know. So we call one friend of ours who's a avid bow hunter, and we get on the phone, and the guy's like, hey, what's up? And Dad's like, I just shot this mule deer. And the guy's like, no way. And he's like, yeah, but guess where I shot it? He's like, where? He's like, I headshot it. He's like, what? He's like, and so my dad's like, is it gonna die? He's like, what do you mean? Did it drop? And he's like, no, it didn't drop. It ran away. He's like, and he's again trying to bite his tongue, like feels bad for us because he's like, that deer's, and he says, unfortunately, boys, like that deer's not dying. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
What do you mean? He headshot it.
Shot it in the head.
Yeah, like what? And no, that deer was gone, 100%. Like we looked for probably 6 hours. Like we believed that deer was gonna be alive, and then we called another buddy, and he was like, you guys, no, that deer's gone. So we were, oh well, that deer. But that was kind of my introduction into bow hunting. That was my first bow hunt.
Yeah.
So the next day I went to Cabela's.
Here, I got a quick question for you before we move on.
Yeah.
So you said it hit it right in the antler. Do you like know that, or is that your assumption as to how it survived a headshot?
It was sticking out diagonally, so I think he hit it in the base of the antler. Like that's our assumption, because it was perfectly fine. And like it wasn't like it went like, and his bow was probably only 50 pounds. So like I'm assuming, and it was off to the side, stuck in like this. So we both assume that it was like side of the antler kind of thing, like, or like right in the base. So that's
and not
assumption.
A drop of blood anywhere. You're just
like nothing. No, and like literally you could see almost the broadhead from how high it was. Like nothing.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Your dad's probably like, don't share this story, Boston, damn it.
No, this is a key story because it was our first bow hunt. And so like to look back how far we've come in the last 4 years, like just amazing. But to get in, like the next day I went to Cabela's, bought myself one of the Cabela's specials bows, and started bow hunting. And that's
awesome.
Like, rifle hunting, like we still rifle hunted. We shot couple nice bucks. I say couple, we've shot lots of nice deer, but with rifles. But like that was back burner. We started bow hunting. It was game on.
Gotcha, man. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Here's a question I have for you, and this, if I'm jumping the gun, just say we'll get to that. Taxidermy. You got to, you graduated in taxidermy. So at what point did you go, I love this so much, I'm going to start that part of my education? It
was, I think, kind of just along here, like the one of our good friends who was kind of showed us bow hunting. Yeah. The guy who my dad called, he's a taxidermist and he has a big shop. And so like just hanging out with him, like when we started getting into bow hunting, he was like, when we need our bows tuned or whatever, we'd take it to him. And so then being in his shop, like it just ignited, like I love deer. And it was kind of to a point, like I do a bit of taxidermy now just for fun, like nothing serious. But it kind of was like, how do I immerse myself? Again, starting that identity piece, like now this is who I am, a hunter. And I wanted to be completely enwrapped in that. So then that's kind of where taxidermy started coming in, because I just wanted to be around animals, like as much as I could.
Got it.
So yeah.
Cool.
So then, bow hunting that year, I never got anything. My dad ended up getting a little 3x3, which was cool, but not crazy stock, just not crazy story. The next year, the next year actually I got drawn for mule deer. So if we get drawn for mule deer, we can bow hunt our draw tag, but it has to be in a specific zone. And I was in a zone that was 3 hours away from our house, so I wasn't going to drive and bow hunt. So I didn't really get to bow hunt. Then the next year after that, I didn't get anything. I hit one. Just, it was a far shot. My expandable didn't open, so I just punched into the shoulder blade. Nothing happened.
Ouch.
Unfortunate. But then...
Still shooting expandables, or have you switched to fixed blades?
No, I'll never shoot expandables. No, after that. No.
been thinking about that. I don't know if I'm wearing a hat of an expandable company or not, but no, I'm not. Man, I've shot fixed blades. Every fixed blade I've ever shot, right through the critter, elk, moose, whatever.
Yeah.
Every expandable, they never make it all the way through. And granted, you could argue that it's the angle that I'm shooting, and both of them were kill shots. By all means, the animal ran less than like 50 yards in both cases,
Yeah.
dead immediately. But I've never had a full pass through with a fixed blade, and I'm curious as to if that's just the nature of the beast. I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, I shot just a doe with an expandable. That was the one deer I've killed with an expandable. And I was shooting 74 pounds. I've been shooting at like 14. I was shooting 70 pounds. Definitely overbowing myself, but I shot a doe broadside and it didn't pass through. And then I had that buck. I lost that buck from it, and then I swear against them, I'll never use them.
Yeah. I've had an axis deer and a pronghorn, and both of them were kind of quartering away.
Yeah.
And great shots right behind, right where you want them to, and you're supposed to shoot towards that back leg when you're shooting and quartering away.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what I did. So I'm assuming they both hit those shoulder blades.
Yeah.
Neither one went through. So I don't know.
Yeah. Something that I'm not going to use, and I've kind of convinced all my buddies to stay away from. I had a buddy this year shoot a deer with an expandable, and it never opened. So he found it 2 days later, but it was literally like shooting a field point through a deer. So just mitigates the risk. I don't see the point of it anymore. Especially like, why not use a fixed blade? Like, you just so much less to go wrong. But yeah, so then hunting that year, I didn't get anything. So then this year. So last year was my first buck, and I'll tell that story.
Okay.
I'm kind of quick because I have an elk story that'll take a while. But that deer, we kind of hunted a bit, changed up spots. Like that's when we started going down south towards that like Cote country, big open hills and cliffs and valleys.
Yeah.
And so getting down there, it's a whole different ball game. Like you're not driving, you're hiking for miles because you're so open, and you see deer from 2 miles away, and then you stalk. And so we had gone down. It was me, my dad, and to praise my dad. I've had such a blessing. Like all people talk about, like you find a good hunting partner. My hunting partner is my dad. Like
that's pretty awesome.
So it's been like most of, if not all my hunts, he's been there. Like all his hunts, I'm there. We're there just because. And it's cool because it's not, there's no superiority. Like, we're just as good as hunters as each other because we've learned together. Yeah. So
it's teamwork. Here's a question I have. And you may or may not have asked this to your dad. I know he obviously loves you because he's doing this with you.
Yeah.
Would he hunt if you weren't there to hunt with him? Is he as into it now as you are?
Yeah. More, he would be in, now he's into it. Like, the first 2 years, probably not. Now, me and him are, like, we've had to grow in our relationship because it got to a point where we both loved hunting, probably more than each other. Like, not really, but like we had to say, hey, I love you more than hunting, because it's hard to work together and when you've both have learned to the same degree and there's not one who's like, oh, let's stalk this deer, oh, let's do this way, because we're both wrong, because we both didn't know what we were doing.
That's funny. Okay, cool. All right, keep going.
But so the story of my first archery buck, it was last year. I shot like competitively, big shooter, love shooting bows. We had woken up, like it was late in October last year. And we, again, cause in Saskatchewan, not very many people like camp, like there's no backcountry camping, hunting, cause we have deer everywhere. So it's not like,
why am I going to go that far? You're going to walk by so many deer. Yeah.
Like, why would I go hunt? But we kind of wanted to test out our backcountry camping skills. And so it was me, Dad, and a buddy. He's hunted with me lots. His name's Maddox. And me, Dad, and Maddox went down to try and shoot me a buck, like to get me a buck on this buck. And so we got down there late on a Friday night to hunt Saturday and Sunday. We've never, like my dad growing up, we never went camping. My dad hated camping. Our family hated camping, so we never camped. So it was kind of our first try camping. It got down to -6, and the tent we were using was a flyless tent. So it had no fly. So as sleeping in the cold, like at one point we woke up and we put all of our blankets on top of the tent because there was no fly. It was so cold to try and keep the heat in, which was crazy. But yeah, we got up that morning, kind of ready to go, half dead, half frozen.
Yeah.
Stayed a little
I've had
longer.
those mornings.
Yeah, stayed a little longer in the truck than we should have, just done a defrost from our
Yep.
sleep. But yeah, so we're on a high advantage point. We're on a hill looking over a bunch of, it's a really cool spot where we were. It's super flat, but there's a tons of valleys. But looking, if you're on any advantage point, it just looks flat. But then when you start walking, there's lots of valleys, just because they're super narrow but super deep. But we ended up glassing a buck sitting on top of this hill. And so we my dad stayed at the truck glassing with a spawning scope, and me and my buddy, we went down, found the valley it was in, and just worked through the valley after a couple hours. Like, it was bedded on top of one of the hills of a valley, and a valley went kind of around it. So it was almost like a peninsula-shaped valley, and it was over top.
Okay.
And so we're working our way, and we get probably 120 yards from this buck, and we see it, and it sees us on top, because it's in just a perfect spot. And we're like, well, nothing we can do. So we just kind of, mule deer, I don't know how it is there. Here, our mule deer are stupid. If they see you and you sit down, like if you sit down and just wait, they'll be okay. They won't run. Like, they need kind of the three senses, like smell, sound, and sight. A whitetail will run off of any of the three. Mule deer kind of need two to run. Like, if it sees you, it needs to hear you or smell you to run. Or if it smells you, it kind of needs to see you or hear you to run. So if it sees you and you can get down and just stay, typically they'll be okay. So that's what we did. And it ended up just working on the backside of this hill. And so it went down into a cut. So we kind of run over this hill, and we peek down, and there's this buck in the bottom of this valley, and we're on top of the hill. And when I mean the worst for buck fever, I'm the worst you've ever met for buck fever. If I'm trying to shoot a squirrel, I start shaking like a leaf. So I'm like I probably shouldn't say this on a podcast, but I shoot far. I shoot enough. Like, I try and shoot 100 arrows every day. Like, I shoot enough that I shoot far. And so I tell him to range.
What's far? Like,
I'll shoot 95 yards.
Okay. So for targeting or for actual critters?
For critters.
And if you're good at that distance, there's nothing wrong with it.
Like, yeah, like
although if you have a lot of shot or target panic,
that's
I don't know about that.
So that's the juggle. But I practice out to 125 like all day. Like, I enjoy it. But anyways, so this deer's in this bottom, and so I tell my buddy Maddox to range this deer. But it's at such a vertical incline, he ranges behind it by accident. And so he ranges at, like, it was 88 yards, he said. So he's like, 88. So I down my sight to 88. I have a 1 pin, way nicer than a 5 pin. And so I pull back, put the deer, and it's not looking at us yet. And it's looking, just walking down the bottom I put, and I'm just can't get my breathing right. So I let down. I'm like, if I'm going to make this shot, I need to. Yeah. And so, but when I let down, it hears and it looks back, but it doesn't, it looks back over his shoulder at me. So it's not looking up, like, it's looking back. So his neck's tilted. So it's like heads over his vitals almost.
Huh. Okay.
So he's looking backwards at us because we're kind of behind it. And so again, I draw, I put, and I'm good. Like, I'm pretty steady. Shoot. And from my knowledge, I hit his horns. And I was like, and we have a video of it. I'm like, shit, I hit him in the horns. And he's like,
like
what?
Father, like son.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm like, I hit it in the horns. What the heck? So, and this deer runs up over this hill and out, like, over the valley, and we kind of run down and it's gone. But my dad, little to us, and cell range is super spotty, little to us, my dad sees this deer and sees it run, and it stops only 300 yards away. So all I know, if I've hit it in the horn, I'm like, so I call my dad laughing kind of. I was like, Dad, I hit the horn. He's like, shut up. It's right in front of you. I'm like, what? He's like, I can see blood. And he's like 1.5 kilometers. I see blood. I don't know where it is. I could see blood dripping out of its mouth. And we're like, I didn't hit the deer. You're stupid. Like, I didn't hit. We both clearly
you actually had shot it.
Yeah. So that's what, like, so then I'm like, I didn't hit the deer. And he's like, you did hit it. And me and my buddy are just laughing. We're like, my dad's like, he's stupid. Like, we're so close to this deer. I didn't hit it. So anyways, we're like, well, let's go try find my arrow so at least I can get my broadhead, like, keep my broadhead. just because I was shooting iron wills at the time, so those things are damn expensive.
Those are pricey. Yeah,
Yeah.
what is it, like 30, 40 bucks per head or something like that?
Per
Yeah.
US. So I'm Canadian, so they're like
Oh yeah,
worse.
that's like 7,000 Canadian dollars.
yeah. So we're
They're great
going.
broadheads, sharp as hell. I've ripped through some stuff. I think those things are maybe too sharp.
Yeah. Fair. That's a fair point. Yeah, like this. And so we go down and we can't find my arrow for anything. And so then my dad calls me again and he's like, Boston, this deer's bleeding. You hit this deer. I'm so sure of it. And I was like, really? And so we're like, maybe you should look for blood. And like, it's crazy how you get in this mindset. Like, every hunter knows. You don't see blood, then boom, blood. And like, we look down and it's just a stream of blood. I'm like, where the hell did I hit this deer? Like, what? Like, how did I hit this deer? Where did I hit this deer? Like, so we're both so confused. Like, we have no idea. And so we walk back to the truck and this deer beds down in the middle of an open field. And he's just bedded in the middle of a field. And it looks like he's like super dazed. Like, head down, head up, head down. A coyote comes up to it within a yard. And the kite runs away.
No way.
The deer doesn't run. And so we're like, I must have killed this deer. So I'm thinking what I thought happened is I must have deflected and went into its vitals or something like down. Because I did not see it hit its head or anything like that. But we're like, and then this deer's like up and down. And then finally it laid down and we watched it for about an hour and it didn't move. Nothing. Like, there was birds on it. So like, this deer's dead. So we're all pumped. We're walking up to it. And it gets up. It stands up. And I'm like, oh, no way. So it's alive. So we're like, what? But I'm only 50 yards, so I shoot it again. It was not a great shot. Like, I think I hit liver. Like, I was shaking like a leaf because I was so pumped. It wasn't a huge deer, but I was pumped because it's my first buck with a bow. And so it runs down another ravine, like only 100 yards, and then I put another one in it, and we get it. And we look. Sure enough, I went through its eyeball and out the bottom of its mouth. And so in doing that, its throat, like, I don't know how long it would have taken it to die, but man,
long time.
Iron will sharp. Like, it went through the bone in its eye, like through its bone.
That's crazy.
Did some freaky stuff. So absolutely insane. So a testament to how sharp those iron wills are. Like, amazing. Like, it's insane. But
dude, through the eye, through the jaw. That makes sense why it was bleeding out its mouth, and your dad thought you had like hitting some, lungs or something, because its mouth was probably filled with blood.
Yes, exactly.
That's crazy, man.
And it wasn't like there was a big puddle of blood in its bed, so I don't know, like, it was a younger buck, so I probably think it just didn't know what hit it, and so it was just sitting, like, I don't know how it would have, like, there wasn't enough blood that it would have bled out, but I didn't care. I got the deer. I was pumped. And so... Yeah.
Who knows? So maybe it was bleeding a lot more, but it was swallowing it, Like, who knows? It could have survived it. It could have also been a kill shot. You'll never know. Good thing you got a couple extra arrows in it.
Yeah, exactly. And so, so then from that was last year. Dad had then shot a deer that year as well, a nice little 4x4 mule deer as well. So we were coming off a pretty big high last year just because I finally got my buck. Dad's gotten 2 bucks, so he's feeling a lot more confident with his bow. And we're still rifle hunting. I have so many rifle stories, but they're just not as exciting to me just because... No offense to those rifle hunters, but I love getting close to animals. It's so cool. So
telling the stories that are important to you or what's important on this show. Not necessarily saying one's better than the other. It's just what you enjoy.
Yeah.
So that's all that matters.
So and then in there I kind of mentioned to you, I got to do some bear guiding and lots of that. I have lots of stories of that, but I want to get into the story this year that just happened, and in my opinion, will probably go down as our best hunt, like, ever. And probably will ever.
Don't tag it with that yet. You're only 18, Boston. You got plenty of time to do some crazy stuff in the woods.
But no, so we dreamed, like, we had never elk hunted really. Like, my dad shot a cow elk with a tag that was like a winter tag, so it was just herd management kind of thing. So he shot some cow elk with his rifle. But we had always, like, watching the videos of bugling elk. Like, we never really heard an elk bugle wanting to shoot. Our dream was to shoot an elk with a bow. Yeah. Like, so, and, like, we were, like, revved up. Like, we're going to do this. And so here, most zones are, like, draw zones, except if you go way up north in the bush, then it's over the counter. And so my brother actually works on a ranch up north, and so he had asked his boss, like, hey, could we hunt? Like, last year it asked for us, and he was like, no, like, sorry, but we don't hunt. Like, and so finally then this year we talked to him, and like, Takoa, his name's Takoa, and we're like, please give us permission, like, figure out permission. Because he's like, he says he hears elk. He doesn't see them, but he hears them all the time. And so we're like, please let us get permission on your stuff. Like, I want it. We want to elk hunt really bad. And so nothing. He's like, the whole year he's humming and hawing, and then the elk season is in the beginning of September, and then I think it was in June, he came home for Father's Day, and kind of his Father's Day gift to Dad, he's like, I got us permission to go elk hunting. So then we were like, no way, like, let's go.
Yeah.
But his criteria for elk hunting was he has 2 weekends, and we can only hunt on Saturday and Sunday on the 2 weekends.
Okay, so not your brother's criteria, but the landowner's criteria.
Landowner's criteria, yeah.
Okay.
Because and my brother's working, so he can't really get off of work. So he's like, these are the days that you can hunt with Takoa on this land. Like, that's it. So we were pumped, but also weary, because like, as far as we knew, it's impossible to shoot elk. So we're like, how are we going to shoot elk in like, with a bow? Like, and now it's a archery and a rifle tag. So my dad was like, maybe I'll take a gun. I was like swearing against it. I'm like, I'm never taking a gun. But so my dad was up there. Me and my dad were up there sometime in the summer, and we had actually met a landowner who had probably like, it was just a 2 mile by mile piece of bush kind of, that he said, hey, you guys can elk hunt on this. I've seen some elk in here before. And so we had a backup plan kind of going into that. Like, so we were going to hunt those 2 weekends if it worked out, and then hunt his stuff as well in the week. So we were gearing up to go. The hunting was going to be me, my dad, Maddox, and then my brother Takoa. So we all had bows. Again, no expectation. It was kind of a cool hunt because we had all never really seen elk. Never heard elk bugle. No expectation. Zero expectation. Just excited to get out in the woods, walk around, kind of. So the first day, it's a Thursday, we head up. We leave Thursday at 1 p.m. in the afternoon, and we're going to meet this landowner who said he had this this little bit of land that we could hunt on. And so we get to his house, and we get there by 4. Sun sets at like 8:30. So we're like hoping that if we meet him, talk with him, he'll let us go for the evening hunt kind of thing is our hope and our plan. And so we get there, and he's like, and it's not at his yard. His yard is 20 minutes away. So we meet him at his yard, and we're like talking. He's super nice. We're like, perfect. And then he's like, how about I go take you to the land and show you around? And we're like, oh, perfect. Like, that's exactly what we need. We get there, and he's like, fires up quads. And we're like, what? He's like, yeah, hop on the quads. I have game trail or quad trails all around my property. We'll go drive them. And we're like, no. Like, we're about to blow this up. Like, no, don't do this. Sure enough, for the next 2 hours, we drive these quad trails this way, that way, this way, that way. And we're like looking at ourselves. We're like, this is so sad. Not hating the landowner. Like, it was great. He wanted to show us around. Great intention, because it did help us understand. Like, he's like, here's a meadow, here's this. But like, just sucky for us that day. And like, whatever. We didn't get a hunt that evening, but that was our thoughts. And so we're like, whatever. So it's about, after everything, it's 7:00. We're like, let's just drive back. We're staying, my grandparents have a cabin up there. So let's go to the cabin. Maybe on the way there's some wildlife public lands we could stop at and just look, see if there's elk. You know, we get on the road off this guy's property. The adjacent, I don't know if you have quarters and sections, but the adjacent property corner, we're driving, I see horns in this oat field. Yeah. And I'm like, no way. That's my first bull that I seen. And so I'm like, Dad, stop the truck. And so he's like, what? I'm like, there's an elk in that field. And it's already getting dark. And I'm like, there's an elk in that field. And he's like, no, there's not. Like, no way. There's an elk in that field. Like, shut up. Like, we haven't even seen elk. And so we stop the truck, and I grab the spotting scope, like, on the window mount, right? Yep. And I put it on, and sure enough, it's to me, a decent elk. Like, it's a small 4x5, but a big 4, if that makes sense. So just missing that other point, but an awesome bull. Like, I've never shot an elk with a gun or with a bow, and so we're but we don't have permission. Like, we can't hunt it. So we're just stopped on the side of the road glassing this deer, or this elk, just looking, and so we're like just like drooling. And we kind of try, we go into his quarter. We're like 2 miles away from his stuff, and we start calling from his stuff, but it's so far. We like nothing. Like
that's a good thought. Nice try though.
Yeah, and it's like, but the elk would have had to cross a road with cars going past. Like we thought maybe, but no. And so this elk's in this back corner of this field, and we're glassing it. It's probably half an hour till dark, till legal light's done, and this truck pulls up on us, gets out, and like, what the hell are you boys doing? And we're like, we're just looking. Like, we're not touching. We're just looking. Sorry, sir. Like, and he's like, so I asked, he's like, so what's your name? Because I knew what the landowner's name was, because I'd seen on like our iHunter app, like I could see the name.
Yeah.
And he looks at me and he's like, I should be asking you that, boy. What's your name? I was like, my name's Boston. And he's like,
sorry, sir.
Sorry, like, I mean no ill intent. And so then he was like really mad. I was like, look, we are just looking at this elk in this field. Is this your field? And he's like, yes, that's my field. I don't allow hunters. I was like, no worries, come. So then he was mad. And then when I said, how about you come look through my spotting scope? Because I just opened the door, and he's like, come sit in the truck, look at my spotting scope, and you can see him. And then that flipped. He was like, yeah, sure. Like, he loved that. He was
That's
like, yeah,
awesome.
sure. And so he spent 10 minutes looking at this elk through the spotting scope, and his brother was in the truck, and so he gets out, and I could feel, like, I could just sense this guy was about to say, go for it. You know, like, I was just like, I bet this guy's going to say, go for it. But my dad, he won't, like, he talks and talks and talks and won't shut up. So he's chatting.
So he's Canadian. He's just a friendly Canadian.
He's talking to this guy, talking, and to this guy's brother, and I could tell this guy wants to interrupt and say, hey, how about, like, these guys go for it. And so I, like, side hit dad. I'm like, shut up. He's like, what? I was like, just shut up for a second. And sure enough, the guy's like, and says to his brother, hey, what do you think we let these boys go have a shot? And he's like, yeah, why not? So like, no way. And so he's like, but just don't walk through my field. But it's an oat field, and the borders around it are forest. So we're just gonna run alongside, like, and it's probably 30 yards of forest into the oat field. So just run alongside and hopefully get. But it's a mile there and half a mile over, and we have 20 minutes of light. And I don't shoot great in the dark. Yeah. So before he said anything, I was in the truck, grabbing my bow, grabbing my release. And so me and Maddox, dad was going to stay and talk with these guys. Me and my buddy, we're running in, and I look, and this is something, if anybody's listening and they don't do this, start doing this. If you and your buddies have similar draw lengths and similar poundages, get your arrows made the same length, even if not a little bit longer, and shoot the same broadheads. So this is something we've purposely done. Most of the guys I hunt with, that I hunt regularly with, me, my dad, my buddies, we all get our arrows made very similar. Now, maybe one's like an eighth of an inch longer, but we can all shoot each other's arrows. So I looked at him. I forgot my arrows. So I was like, give me one.
You forgot your arrows?
Yeah. So I forgot my arrows.
How about this? Instead of customizing your setup, you bring your arrows.
Yeah, no, exactly. But because he had his arrows, I was like, give me one of your arrows. So he's like, he didn't care. He's like, sure.
Yeah.
And in our kind of hunting groups, most people probably is the same. If you see the elk first, you get to shoot it. Or see the deer first. Like, it's kind of, not every time, but you get first dibs, reasonable. Kind of, right?
Yeah.
And so we're running, and like, I'm like, because we're running through this thick bush, and we get out, and we still have light. We probably have 5 minutes left of light, but it's dark, like getting dark. And sure enough, I see this elk in this field, and I could see his horns, and it's a dip. And so I just get low and just run right at this elk. Like, just run. Like, I have no other choice. I'm not going to be able to shoot soon. Like, I have no choice. And my dad, what he does is he's walking in from the front, but he's 700 yards away, but he's kind of making noise, like kind of not being quiet. So this elk is looking at my dad, and the wind's right coming this way. So he smells my dad, and my dad's cow calling. So he's like thinking my dad's something. So I get behind this elk, and I get so low. I get low, get closer and closer. I get 20 yards away from this elk. And he's just looking at my dad. And like, I just pull back, just rest my pin. It was so dark, I like looked out, get my eyes to adjust, look back through my people. Okay, I can see it. And I just put it on his shoulder and release it. And that was it. I got it. That was
awesome.
That was our elk. And so, but this is like our first elk we've ever seen. And we haven't even we're like, what? And so this this landowner was like, yeah, you can get your quad and you can hang it at my place. You can skin it, but it's only going to get to like 20 degrees Celsius. So it needs to get to a processor, but it's
Yeah.
8:30 it's like 8:30 already. So then we have to skin it, gut this elk. We've only gutted like 2 elk. Get it out of this field, go get our quad, like all this and this and this. So we're like, who do we take this elk to? And he's like, well, how about this? Take it to, here's the phone number of some Hutterites. Take it to the Hutterites. And so I call the Hutterites, and the guy, like, you can barely hear this guy. He's just thick accent. And we're like, what do we do with this elk? And he's like, you need to take it to a processor. And we're like, yeah, you. And he's like, well, when will you get here? I was like, where is your colony? And it's an hour and a half away from where we were. It's 8:30. Yeah. We still need to skin it, still need to gut it, still need to get it out of this field and drive all that way. Like, and so he's like, how about this? I'll keep my ring around, phone me when you're here. And I said, sounds good. Like, but we don't know if he's on it. Like, we don't really know. We're just taking a guess. So we get it down, skin it, everything. By the time we get to the Hutterites colony,
no coolers, no place you can get ice or anything like that.
No, it's all like, because we're kind of in the middle of nowhere. So there's nothing around. So they have a cooler, like the Hutterite colony has a freezer and stuff, so they could take care of it. And they're like a butcher, so they were going to do it for us. But by the time we get there, it was 2 a.m. in the morning. And we get there and we call him, and we're just like praying that this guy picks up his phone. Because like, if he doesn't, what do we do? Like, just, I get like our plan, we were just going to sleep in the truck till he woke up in the morning. Like, that was our guess. And so, but he picked up his phone, he hung it, he showed us everything. So it was awesome. By the time we got back to the cabin and everything, it was like 4:35 in the morning, right when the sun's getting up. So we weren't going for the hunt in the morning, but we still didn't really like know elk. Like, it was just like a fluke. It's total fluke, total blessing. Hey, but
I'd rather be lucky than good, man. I say it all the time. All the time.
Amen. Yeah, we love that. No, and so exactly that. And so, but we still have my brother's property we want to hunt. So we didn't hunt on that Friday at all. Like, we slept in. We didn't want to.
Yeah.
Like, we didn't want to hunt. And so that Saturday, we're talking to my brother and we're like, so is there elk on your stuff? He's like, I hear them all the time, but I've never seen an elk. And I was like, uh-oh. Like, uh-oh. And so we pull up to his property right at sunrise. And we get out of the truck. We're stopped about a mile from the bush that it's probably a 4x4 kilometer, or 2.5 mile bush width-wise that he says all the elk are in. So we get to probably a mile away from this bush, kilometer away from this bush. And we get out of the truck. Again, we've never heard a bugle before, like nothing. We're getting our bows ready. Obviously, I'm not, but my dad and my brother and my buddy are. And we shit ourselves. Like, probably in that bush, there's 15 different bulls.
No way.
So we come to learn nobody's hunted or no one's walked in that bush off the back of a horse. Like, nobody's hunted that for the last 7 years, and nobody's walked it unless they're on the back of a horse in 7 years.
Yeah.
So these elk, nothing.
Feeling safe. They're feeling safe.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. So we get in there. We get in, and it's like, literally, you can't talk. There's elk everywhere, just fired up.
That's like, amazing.
And so I ended up calling in this little raghorn for my buddy to like 3 yards. But he had made a bad shot on a mule deer, and this past year, so his confidence was a little shaken, and he couldn't get a range on it because we were in grass. And so it ended up coming to 3 yards and walking back for about 10 minutes. And he never took a shot at this deer or this elk. No. And I was just like pounding the sand. I was like, what are you doing? With trying to have patience for this guy. But I was like so mad. So mad. And my dad's on some elk, but that was kind of it for that morning, like that first morning, just because we didn't want to push in this bush because we didn't want to spook these elk. Like, we really were just hoping, like, first time hearing bugles, we're living on a high. So we go out, and this is how new we were to elk hunting. We didn't know if elk would bugle in the evening, and we didn't want to scare them, so we didn't go back that evening, because we didn't know if they were active.
Oh.
But in hindsight, we're like, that was the dumbest thing ever.
Yeah.
But, so we get in there, same thing the next morning, except there's no elk bugling. So we're like, what? Like, did we scare them, or are they not bugling this morning? Like, what? So my dad and my brother, they go to a different side, and I'm with my buddy. And we go into this same slough where he had that little bull come close to him. And we're right 10 minutes after sunrise kind of thing. And sure enough, we see this little 6x6 on the edge of the slough. In the slough, we haven't talked. And I'm like, no way, there's a bull right there. He's probably 110 yards. So not within range, but if he comes 40 yards closer, he's in range.
Yeah.
And so we're like, there's a bull right there. So I get down and I'm hoping he feeds to us, but he ends up just going into the bush a little ways. So like, man, that sucks, right? Like, that sucks. So I just start cow calling. Again, I learned how to use a diaphragm this year, but like not good with it. Like, I'm okay, but like nothing special. Don't know. So I'm cow calling. Nothing. This bull won't come out. And there's no bugles. So, which was so weird because we probably heard 250 bugles the morning before.
Yeah.
Like,
well, whatever cow was hot and ready is no longer hot and ready.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's what's so weird. But then, after 20 minutes of cow calling and making noise, this bull wouldn't come out of this bush. So I'm like, what the hell, I'll bugle. And I've been told not to bugle until another elk bugles. That's kind of what the people I've talked to kind of taught me. But I was like, let me bugle. And
try something, right? Better than nothing.
Like nothing. So I bugle, and it was like a switch into that forest got turned on. And probably from that bugle, 10 bulls responded. And they started chuckling,
that's so cool.
And they started, and you could hear them from 500-600 yards away running through the bush. So we like run into this bush, like, because these elk are now coming to us, but then they start bugling and chuckling at each other, and then we can hear them fighting and pounding heads. So we get into this bush, and then I start cow calling, because no more bugling for me, because there's bugles everywhere, right? Like, and within, but this bush is so thick, and this is the issue. This bush is so thick that within probably 10 or 5 yards, there's 8 bulls of us around us.
No way.
I have videos of it.
You're giving me a hunting story. I could say, give me 20 yards, I'll say sure.
No.
5 to 8 yards, you got 10 bulls.
I promise you, we could see these bulls running. We could see them running through this bush because we're in little, like, there was 4 pine trees on either side of us, so we were in the middle of these pines. Yeah. But then there's like a bunch of caraganas, and it's just overgrown because the bush is so thick, and it's like it's a spruce swamp. So cows actually can't go in a spruce swamp because they'll get stuck. So no cows have been through this area. So it's so thick, like it hasn't
graze it down. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. So I'm guessing at least 10. Because I can hear different bugles within 8 or like 5 or 8 yards, but no shot. And sure enough, the lead bull pokes his head out at us. Just a nice 6x6, and he pokes his head out. And so I'm like to my buddy, I'm like, just shoot it in the neck, like just put it in the jugular. But he's not wanting to take I'm like, just shoot it in the neck. Yeah. Like, I don't know. Like, he's like, no, I need a broadside shot. But then that bull is so close in our face, like he gets a sniff because there's no really wind, but he smells us or sees us. Yeah. He's gone. And once he runs, like, it's like just like a stampede, like boom, out. Like they're like just all these elk. And so and they start bugling again, maybe 10 minutes later, like 200-300 yards away, but nothing really. And so I'm still trying to cow call, and I actually pulled in a little spiker to like 10 yards. I had a shot. My friend was 2 yards beside me. He never had a shot. He was behind trees, and so he would have shot him because here, like, it was over 6 inches, so we can shoot. But yeah. Okay. And then in that mess, my dad ends up calling in a 6x6, a nice big 6x6, and has a frontal shot. He took the frontal, but he ended up shooting it low, so it hit that
breastplate.
I don't know what you call it. Breastplate, yeah. And he hit it, and we looked, there was no blood, and it started pouring rain as he did it. So then it was just like we couldn't hit him. We looked as much as we could, but that was it. That was that for the Sunday morning, and so we pulled out of there. We didn't want to pressure it too much because we were coming back the next weekend. But craziness, our fire, our excitement for these bulls were just like on fire. So then the next weekend, so we're going back, but we're like, we'll go back, but we're taking guns this time. They were taking guns. and I was going to be the caller.
Yeah.
None of them didn't even know how to call. Like, they didn't know how to bugle, cow call. Like, I was the only one. So I was like, hey, so it was my dad, my brother, and then the guy who kind of taught us how to hunt, who came after with us, and then my brother's friend. So there's 4 shooters.
Okay.
And we were going in, and we were telling these guys, like, this is unreal hunt. And probably, like, when I say there's 10 bulls within 8 yards, like, yeah, right. Like, my ass, there's 10 bulls. You know what I mean? Like, they're like, yeah, for sure.
Yep.
Right? And so I'm telling them, like, boys, I'm so excited. And they're like, yeah, settle down, cowboy. Like, there's no bulls. Like, if we see one, we're lucky. And it's over the counter. And so we have the Saturday to hunt and the Sunday morning to hunt. Both mornings to hunt. And so we go in, and nobody believes me. Again, not really bugling. And so I was like, I had a pit in my stomach thinking, oh, we blew it out from last time. Just because I did push into that bush, and Dad shot at that one. And so we get in, but sure enough, same thing as last time. Like, bulls, as soon as I start bugling, bulls everywhere. And so my dad and our friend Richard, they come over this in the same slough where my buddy could have shot at that raghorn. There's like 4 bulls, little bulls in this slough. Okay. And so they start calling and calling. My dad, so then they're set up, and my dad's like, I'm going to shoot at one. But they can't really see each other, and they can't really talk. So my dad shoots, and he misses. For sure misses. He's like, dang. Like, dang it, I missed. And so our friend, he goes to shoot at one, but it runs into the scope, like into view of my dad. So my dad shoots, misses again, but our friend was able to like get on it, and he shoots, and he dropped it. So it dropped. He spined it, and so he was pumped because we had one. And so I get the text message. I can hear the shots. But I get the text message, bull down. So I'm like, perfect. That's like, we're good. But as every time a shot would go off, I would bugle to cover up the bugle, or to cover up the shot. And I promise you, those elk did not care about shooting. They still kept bugling. They didn't care about the shots. And so within 10 minutes of that, we're 2 miles away from that. I get a bull start running at us. Like, you can hear him running back, forth. And then he started fighting with another bull. Like, I assume I could hear like, tsh, tsh, tsh. I set my buddy, or my brother's friend, and my brother up in a slough. And I go 100 yards behind them. And I start bugling at this bull. And after 20 minutes, this bull slowly comes. And nothing. Like, this bull wouldn't give a shot. You could hear him running back and forth. And eventually, this bull steps out for our friend and my brother's friend. But my brother's older. But this kid, he's only 14. And he's only ever shot a doe. And my brother's like, don't shoot, don't shoot. Let me get beside you, so I know what you're shooting at. So I know, just to make sure, because he's a young kid, right? So my brother's like, just wait.
Yeah.
So he's crawling over to my friend, or to our friend, and he's like, don't shoot. And I see the kid put it up, put his finger in the trigger. I'm like, this kid's gonna shoot. And as my brother's like, don't shoot, boom!
Yeah.
I'm like, and so my brother was a mix of like, and me was a mix of, great job, buddy. But like, no, you should have waited. Like, but you don't wait.
Yeah.
It's like number
terrible
one
listener, but did he get the kill is the question.
So that was the question. So we say to him, did you hit it? He's like, I have no idea. Like, where'd it go? I have no idea.
Oh.
I'm like, oh my goodness. Like, are you kidding me?
Oh no.
No. And so we're like, oh well. So we get up we're like, where'd you shoot at it? Like, where was it? Because we both didn't see the bull. We both never saw it. So we don't even know if he shot at a bull.
Yeah.
Like, not sure what he was shooting at. No idea. And so we get up to where he thought he shot at. And he's like, is there blood? Is there blood? And same thing. No blood. And then it's like, literally like light switch turned on. And there's a trail of blood. And not just blood, but chunks of heart. Like, just like, and it was 35 yards laying down. He just like blew up its heart. And it blew up this elk's heart. And so that was cool. So, but it's probably, I don't know, 9 a.m.
That's awesome.
We have 2 bull elk. We have 2 bull elk down in the bush. And so now is the fun part, right? So we had to pull these 2 bulls out. of the bush. So we ended up getting the 2 bulls out and getting them to the butcher. But then it was 4 o'clock at the time.
Did you take them to the same guys an hour and a half away?
Same guys, yeah. Same guys, hour and a half away, just because both of our bulls were there, or my bull was there, so we were like, why not just take them? By the time we got there, got them skinned and everything, and got back to where we could hunt, it was 5 o'clock. We hadn't eaten all day, nothing. Yeah. And my brother had another kind of bush that he had access to, but he was like, I have no idea if there's elk here, but why not go and look quickly for the evening hunt? Let's just go and look for the evening. Let's go see. So we get in there. We're not hearing much, nothing much. And we get in there again, nothing much. I let off a bugle, and I don't know if it's they just need to hear one bugle. It was like a children's choir. There was so many bugles, we didn't know which ones to go after. They were just everywhere. everywhere. So I looked so my brother and the one friend go after one bugle that's far away this way, and me and my dad go after a bugle that's far away. So we split it up so that we don't interact with each other. We're probably 4 kilometers away from each other. Me and Dad get on this. It's a bush, big bush, and we're on the edge. There's a gap, a 200-yard gap of pasture between 2 bushes, right? Okay. And I hear an elk in that bush bugling, probably 500 yards into the bush. So I start bugling and cow calling, and after about 50 minutes of bugling and cow calling, I ended up calling out all this bulls, all his cows, and there was probably 20 cows that come out of this bush and work this way. But literally from 500 yards away, I could hear this bull running through the bush, back and forth, crashing through the bush. So, I don't know what to do. So I grab a stick and I start smacking another tree with it, just trying to sound like a big bull. And sure enough, I called this nice 6x6. It was like a herd ball, comes out at 200 yards, and my dad just stoned him, just dropped him. And that's so amazing. It took us so long of fighting with this bull that it was half an hour till dark again. So and I'm calling my buddies. I'm like, boys, we shot 3 bulls in one day. What the
and
hell?
One the day before, one the weekend before.
Yeah, and it's not like we walked up on a herd and shot 3 spikes in the herd, but we literally shot 3 different bulls in 3 different spots. And so I'm on the phone with one of my buddies, and Dakoa and our friend, he's texting us yeah, we've seen nothing. We can't get close. We're heading to you guys. So I dropped him a pin and they're walking back. I'm on the phone with one of my buddies, yeah, I was sick. And then I hear, bang!
Oh, gosh.
Whap, bang! Whap! And then 3 more, bang! Whap! Bang! Whap! Bang! Whap! And I'm I'm shit myself. I'm jumping in there. I'm no way. Did we just shoot a bull? Did he just shoot a bull? So I call my brother. Did you just shoot a bull? What? And he's not giving me an answer. He's kind of laughing, chuckling. I'm what? And he's I just shot a huge bull. To us, it's a sweet 6x6, probably 290-inch bull. And I'm what? What was the story? Did you cow call? Did you call it out? He's no. We were walking back to the truck, and 100 yards in front of us, this bull steps out broadside feeding in a field.
Oh, gosh.
And he shoots it.
4 bulls in a day.
4 bulls in one day, and it was all again, it would be a little different if there was 12 of us hunting or whatever, and we all 4 bulls were shot, but we all 5 of us tagged out within 2 weekends, but 4 bulls in one day, and they were all above 5x5s. The 2 were 5x5s and the 2 were 6x6s. Which
I don't know if you'll ever experience that again. You may have called it. You said, I said you're only 18. Let's not call it yet. But that's a pretty crazy. That's the kind of hunt that everybody wants, right? The rut fest where they're bugling, and they're everywhere, and you're having opportunities, and you're getting in super tight, and they're screaming in your face. Yeah. And then of course you added on top of that 4 bulls down, which is just crazy. 5 total, which is so crazy.
So so much meat, and the coolest part wasn't even shooting, but it was the fact that in a weekend we heard 800 bugles, at least,
that's amazing.
That was a story for the books. Loved it, but
yeah. And do you give the other guys shit for using rifles and not bows and being hey, that's cool, that's super cool that you shot one with your rifle? Oh yeah, but
yeah. In my Instagram post, it's sweet bulls, boys, but it will be cool to see you shoot one with a bow.
Yeah. And then at the end of that, you're next time I'll bring my own arrows.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh man, that's an awesome story, man. So God, I feel bad for the meat processor because he had to wake him up again
Yeah.
at like 4 a.m.
Yes, same thing. And so we had to we ended up getting there at like 2:30 again in the morning. And
Yeah.
but they're Hutterites, and so they're not allowed to drink. But if you bring them a 6-pack, they're a lot happier.
Oh, that's funny.
So
That's funny, Boston. All right, man. Well, this was fun. This was fun. Let's wrap it up here.
Yeah, for sure.
Because right now we have great internet connection, which we haven't had the entire time. So let's. Do you want to share any socials or anything like that, or do you just want to walk off into the sunset, brother?
Yeah, sure. I'll share my Instagram's Bobo's Outdoors, so BOBOS _ and then outdoors. I just post all my hunting stuff, like
Sweet.
Lots of guiding. I'm a pilot, so lots of flying stuff. But yeah.
That's awesome. Dude, you're a taxidermist, a hunter, a pilot, and you're only 18. That's crazy, man.
Trying.
Keep it up, Boston, man. I appreciate you reaching out, sharing your stories, being brave, especially at being only 18. I mean, like I said, I do get a fair amount of folks, but like actually having good stories, being a good storyteller, it's impressive for your age, man. So thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks. I appreciate it.
Yeah, and we'll have you back on here. If the way that you're racking up stories, it'll be like 6 months. You'll have 10 more Elkdown, and we'll.
I'd love to be back. I have lots of bear stuff to share as well. But
all right, perfect, man. We'll have you back on and tell us some bear stories. So, Boston, thank you very much. I appreciate you, brother.
Yeah.
And to listeners, thank you guys for tuning in. All right, guys, that's it. Another couple stories in the books. Again, thank you to Boston for reaching out and coming on the podcast and sharing his pretty crazy stories. I'm excited to see what that guy does in his future. He's still so young, plenty of time to have more stories. But what happened to him and his brother and his dad and his friend, I mean, that's a hard one to beat. So thank you for sharing your stories, Boston. We'll have you back on again here in the future. For you listeners, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I really do appreciate it. I want to ask if you could, please go and review the podcast. Give us a like, subscribe, whatever you're listening to, whether it's Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you might be listening today. It does help us grow. But beyond that, guys, share the podcast with one other person. And then let's just wrap this thing up. Go out there and, make some stories of your own. Thank you.